G'day, welcome to Oddities and Curiosities book review. My name's Marc, Lindsay, author of the Perigord and co-author of the Play-Doh Wingard series. Today what we're going to be touching upon is The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R Carey. This book was originally published in 2014, and I believe that it was developed from a short story that was done the year before. This book is a zombie book, end of the world book, so it's pretty cool. I'm a huge fan of zombies ever since I saw the original Night of the Living Dead by George Romero. This book takes place 20 years after the apocalypse, and the zombies in this are known as hungries. It's an infection from spores, and basically the spores infect the brain, and these creatures, the spores drive the zombie to go out and bite others, therefore infecting more and more and more. It is set in a military location, and the main story concerns a young girl who her name's Melanie, and she's part of a group of these children that are hungries. However, unless they get the scent of humans, they're quite normal. But once they smell like human beings, the spores take control and they just want to bite. So all the people in the installation take all these precautions to keep themselves clean. It's interesting too because the scientists there are basically there to test, educate, to see as these spores infect the brain. They want to check these kids to see how much their brain remains intact. So they're educating them, and they're also conducting these tests and dissecting and stuff. And there's a really good relationship between the teacher, who name's Helen, and this girl Melanie, and it's one of pure love and caring, even though they've never actually been able to touch due to the smell. There's another group in the book. They're known as junkers, and they remain separate to the government, and they sort of roam, and they're like survivalists. And they basically, a bunch of these junkers, they break into the installation, therefore letting in all these hungries. And Melanie, Helen, and some soldiers and a scientist, they basically break away and they head towards the nearest government place, which is known as the Beacon, and it's about 70-80 k's away. As they travel along, Britain's completely changed. 20 years of the apocalypse, things have overgrown. You've got these hungries that are roaming the countryside, and all the characters in there are deeply conflicted. Obviously the scientists, Melanie has the potential for a cure. The soldiers, they're just purely driven by survival, and then you've got Helen, this teacher who's looking after Melanie, who's purely driven for the safety of Melanie. I found it a really thrilling and powerful story, and there's quite a really disturbing ending at the end, but also found it kind of satisfying. It's sort of a little bit of a karma thing that sort of lays out at the end there. I'd recommend it for those that sort of enjoy World War Z and other zombie style books, and I actually thought this was one of the better ones of the group. I give this 3.5 stars. Thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing you next week.